What if I told you that a well-known crypto analyst who calls himself a 100x gem hunter just published a price prediction for XRP that is so audacious, so utterly massive, that would completely dwarf the entire current valuation of the crypto market? This isn't about $10 or even $50. We're talking about a prediction of XRP reaching $300. That's a 100 times increase from its current price. This claim comes from an analyst known as Whale.Guru, and it's perhaps the single most bullish or craziest take on XRP we've seen yet. Let's just sit with that number for a second. At its current price of around $3, a move to $300 would be a 100x gain. For context, if you had $1,000 worth of XRP today, that would become $100,000. It's the kind of prediction that makes you do a double take. And Whale.Guru didn't just make this prediction in a vacuum. He included it in a list of forecasts for what he calls an upcoming altcoin supercycle. His other predictions are also wildly bullish. Ethereum at $25,000, Solana at $2,000, and even Dogecoin at $5. But, and this is a monumental but, we have to look at what a $300 price tag actually means for XRP in terms of cold, hard market reality. The math is simple but staggering. With an expected future supply of around 60 billion tokens, a price of $300 per XRP would give it a total market capitalization of over $18 trillion. Let's make sense of that number. $18 trillion is more than the combined market value of the world's four biggest companies: Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Google. It would be approaching the total market cap of gold. For a single cryptocurrency, that is an almost unimaginable valuation. Therefore, we have to ask the critical question: is this a realistic forecast, or is it pure fantasy designed to create hype? This is where a dose of healthy skepticism is essential. While the prediction is incredibly exciting, it exists in a completely different universe from the forecasts of most other analysts. For example, a popular market commentator, Ash Crypto, has given XRP a far more conservative target of $5 to $8 by the end of the year, assuming Bitcoin has a strong run. Other respected voices in the XRP community, like Carl Moon and Zach Rector, have floated the idea of $30, often citing historical patterns and the potential impact of an XRP ETF. Even analyst Javon Marks, who once presented a $99 outlook, has recently become more conservative in his predictions. So, Whale.Guru's $300 call is a massive outlier. It's not just optimistic, it's in a league of its own. Now, this doesn't mean the argument for a higher XRP price is without merit. The points his supporters use are real. The potential launch of XRP spot ETFs could bring massive institutional demand. Ripple's ongoing expansion into international banking and emerging markets builds strong fundamental utility. And the fact that a large portion of the supply is locked in Ripple's escrow means the liquid, tradable supply is lower than it appears, which could contribute to a supply shock if demand spikes. Therefore, the real takeaway here might be less about the specific number $300 and more about the extreme bullish sentiment it represents. It highlights a belief that we are heading into an unprecedented altcoin supercycle, where the rules of traditional valuation might not fully apply. While achieving an $18 trillion market cap seems fantastical, it does frame the conversation around XRP's potential in a new, much more ambitious light. So, should you bet your life savings on XRP hitting $300? Absolutely not. The scale of growth required is historically unprecedented. But does this prediction underscore the incredibly optimistic sentiment building around XRP due to ETFs, utility, and market cycles? Absolutely. It's a fascinating, if extreme, perspective that reminds us just how unpredictable and potentially explosive the crypto market can be.